Hello and welcome to the podcast. Today I'm talking about my personal self-portrait. I'm going to talk about the diversity circle. I'm going to speak about my professional attitude and what a professional attitude actually is. And lastly, I will talk about my view of being a teacher and what kind of teacher I would like to be. I will add some things about my internship, and so professional self-portrait. What is that? That is actually how I see myself, and it is pertinent to know who you are and where you come from, because most of the time our background influences the choice we make and the path we follow, and this doesn't mean that when you're born in a very unfortunate situation that your life will stay that way. No, I'm just saying that the way we're raised, our culture, the country we live in, all of those things are factors that shape us in the person we become. So we will discuss the diversity circle first, and there are 7 aspects. I will name the first one, second one, and so on, and talk about how it applies to me. So the first one is sex and gender. There's not much to say about it. I'm a woman, I'm a cis woman. That is a term used in science, I believe. And the second one is generation and life stage. I'm in a stage in life where everything is moving so fast. I have to make decisions. I have to decide what direction I want to take my life in. And that all just makes me feel like I'm not moving fast enough. I'm not doing enough, things like that. Yeah, I mean, this is not my first education. I have done nursing, I have done social work. I hated nursing with all my heart. It was just depressing. It wasn't for me. And I'm glad I did it to find out that it wasn't for me. I'm glad I quit on time. I quit after the first year or so. After that, I thought I found my calling. I started doing social work because I thought helping people doesn't have to mean that you have to help them in their health. You can help them mentally, but social work was not it for me. It wasn't quite me, I guess. All the trial and error have led to me still not having a degree, because a lot of times people think I am from the MBO, but actually I did vocational secondary higher education, HAVO, and becoming a teacher means that you need to do a bachelor. There's no other option, and I'm okay doing a bachelor. I'm 23 years old, and although that is young, I cannot help nor stop the nagging voice in my head that's telling me that I wasted time. Growing up is beautiful, and it is also stressful. I would say that it is bittersweet. There's nice moments. We will look back to the times we had with our friends. I mean, sometimes I think about high school and I'm like, those were the good days. But yeah, people like to think about the past or worry about the future. That's what I learned. But currently, I'm trying to think positively and accept what life has thrown at me instead of thinking in limitations. So, ethnicity and language. I am Somali, and my native language is of Somali. Af actually means mouth, so Af Somali means mouth Somali, because you speak with your mouth. At least that's what that's what we do. I find it important to know about my culture and preserve my mother tongue. I want to be able to speak my language, and I'm happy that I can. I know that a lot of people that move from Somalia to the West, they just forget their language, and I don't blame them. It's hard to, is it? I don't know. I think I can understand why that can happen. If you're not surrounded by a language, you will forget. I should know because I'm studying a language. I would say that, I don't know, when I look on the internet, there's not much suitable information to find about the history or like really in-depth information like I can find about the Netherlands, for example. So yeah, I would say that in my culture, community is central. We are warm and open people, you know, friendly. We're also direct and honest. That's something we have in common with the Dutch culture. On the internet, we are known for our big foreheads and the fact that we like rice and banana. It's a funny mixture, but you should try it out before you judge, right? I would say that core values in my culture are generosity, respecting elders, honor, and clan structure. Uh, Also, modesty, and lastly, entrepreneurship. A lot of people have businesses. You know, these are the things that are valued in my culture. Sorry. Although I am Somali, the Dutch culture has also shaped me in ways that I was not even aware of because, yeah, I never thought about it. Yeah, I came to the Netherlands as a refugee with my family when I was 6, so I don't remember much from back home. I mean, I think it's for the best because we came here for good reasons. Yeah, we came here because it wasn't safe. It wasn't safe physically, it wasn't safe mentally, and also, yeah, also because of poverty. So I think, yeah, it's good that we have a new chance to at life, actually, a new chance at life. So obviously, I came here when I was a kid. I internalized some Dutch values such as freedom of speech or having an opinion. That is my meaning. That's what they like to say, the Dutch people, I noticed. Social security and individualism, being an individual. Because my community is um, so centered in community. Community is very central. So doing things for yourself is kind of hard, but I'm learning that because of the Dutch culture. A funny one is actually being punctual. African people are late for a lot of things. They're late for their own weddings, I can tell you that. So yeah, I am actually very punctual. I'm earlier, like 10 minutes earlier before any appointment, because that's nice. The downside, however, is like not fully fitting in one culture. For example, if I go back to Somalia, which I have never done actually after all those years, because for obvious reasons it's not safe, I would be called Dutch. I would be Dutch. I would be Western in their eyes. And in the Netherlands, I am perceived as a foreign person. And if they ask me about my nationality and I say Dutch, because that's literally what my passport says, it's like, oh, but where do you really come from? So yeah, I feel as a bridge between two lands. And Ruby Kaur is a poet that I love. She said it so beautifully, and I will read the poem for you. They have no idea what it's like to lose home at the risk of never finding home again. Have your entire life split between two lands and become the bridge between two countries. It's named First Generation Immigrants. So Rupi Kaur, she wrote that, and I really think it resonates. It's beautiful, and I can relate. I can relate to it deeply. So, furthermore, discussing the diversity circle, there is also number 4: illness, health, talent, and disability. I am privileged to not have any serious illness or disability, except for anemia and occasional vitamin D deficiency. My throat hurts. But yeah, I am very happy and I'm very thankful and grateful that I don't have a sickness that really stops me from living my life. I can continue with life without any real restrictions. You know, I don't have to be in the hospital every month. I have to say that I have been to the hospital because of anemia, but that was, I hope, a one-time thing. I would say on the other side, mental health is something that I do struggle with, and because of everything that happened in life, and yeah, that is something that I cope with, and I'm learning to live with it, to to like actually accept myself being vulnerable, and accept that you don't have to be okay, and that's okay. Not being okay is okay. Imagine dealing with depression and having to teach a class. How do you do that? I know that I will be able to do it because I can move on with my life even if it's falling apart. So yeah, I can mask it really well, so people would never think that something is going on because I don't show them. Except for, yeah, I have been absent from class maybe one too many times, but it's something I'm working on, and I'm gonna do better. Let's move on with sexual orientation. I am born as a woman and I feel as a woman. Cis woman, that's how they call it. I would say that I'm straight. I'm hetero, meaning that I feel attracted to the opposite sex. And I guess I like men. That sounds really weird, but yeah, I would say that I would fall in love with a man. Being gay or part of the LGBTQ++ would make my life very difficult. So that is something that is not supported in Islam. It's actually a sin to engage in your feelings when you are gay, I guess. For example, if I would be lesbian and I would be in a relationship with a woman, that would be sinful. I have to say, being in a relationship without marriage with a man is also sinful, but that's another thing we can talk about another day. So I would say my life is so much more simple because I am straight, because it saves me from a very lonely life. I think that my religion and my hereafter after this life is more important than love. So I would give up that if I were be a lesbian. So yeah, I mean, this doesn't mean that Islam says that you should harm gay people. No, it's just something that we can't do. We have to respect everyone and allow them to be themselves because they have free will. They can do whatever they want with their life. And since we're talking about religion, I'm gonna smooth in with the topic religion and philosophy. So I'm a Muslim and I'm a practicing Muslim. That means that I pray my prayers, I wear the hijab or like the headscarf, whatever you want to call it. There's many names, right? I fast in the month of Ramadan, and I believe in the oneness of Allah. There's no one worthy of worship except Allah, and Muhammad, peace be upon him, is his messenger. So he spread the message of Islam, and I follow that. Social class and professional socialization. So coming to the Netherlands as a first generation immigrant made it hard to climb the ladder. I mean, we had to go to like the camps, we had to go to this institution that refugees go to, or people that come to the Netherlands. I don't know the name. My parents never had an education and they had to work minimum wages when they came here. It was hard to feed 12 mouths, including my grandma. I mean, before my dad passed away, it was obviously mom and dad, grandma, and 9 kids. So that's a lot of people. I would say that I never felt poor. My parents never made me feel like I was poor. Life was abundant because we had known real hunger back home. I mean, life in Somalia, I'm happy that I don't know much. And I forgot everything, actually. Essentially, I know things, but I don't know the traumas that my mom and others went through. So yeah, that was the hard life. When my dad passed away in 2012, that is when things got hard. My mom was a single mom, and raising so many kids was no easy task. Although my mom never really had an education, she always pushed us to go higher and get our degrees. She could never really help with schoolwork, but she did help in her own way. I mean, she always advised us. She always told us that we could do it, that we should be happy that we have the ability to study because there are so many people that don't. And I would say that I can feel really guilty when school doesn't go well for me, because I could have been in Somalia and I could have had nothing, you know. Obviously, we were unfortunate. There's people that live a good life in Somalia. They have money, they have resources, but we weren't one of them. So that's unfortunate. Otherwise, if we were one of them, we would have never come here, right? So I feel a lot of guilt and pressure to get a degree, to make something of my life because of that fact. But yeah, I'm trying, and I planned to finish my school in 4 years, but maybe it's gonna be 5 instead of 4. And yeah, it's gonna be okay. So yeah, this whole diversity circle really just taught me that a person is so much more than one aspect. There's a whole history, they have a whole story, they have things going on in their life. I mean, I knew that, but this just gave me the extra push for me to realize that even deeper. So what am I going to do as a teacher? I will look at my student as a whole person and not expect them to behave well all the time and get good grades, because they're not just a student, they're human. Okay, so that's something that actually social work taught me, that holistic looking at a client. But this is not a client, this is a student, that's a different. But yeah, as you can see, you don't lose anything in life, and everything you go through is a lesson. I believe that very much. Professional attitude in front of the class. So I want to start with feedback that I've gotten when I was giving class about clock reading. And yeah, I know clock reading, what does that have to do with English? I don't know myself. But the teacher we were following for the day was, he taught math. So yeah, and the class had issues with clock reading, and he told us to teach a class, me and my colleague students. I have a class, I have no idea I have no plan for the class. I wanted them to do homework, but since you guys are here for an internship, maybe you guys can teach them about clocks, because they have issues. I literally didn't know what I was going through, because no planning or whatsoever. 30 minutes to prepare the class. Obviously, it's intense. Besides that, I only introduced myself in front of the students. All I said was, "Hi everyone, my name is Miss Omar. I am an intern from the WHO, and I'm gonna be joining you for a couple of weeks," because my internship was every 3 weeks somewhere else. And yeah, so it was we had 30 minutes prepared. We did it. We had a PowerPoint. We did an introduction. We're gonna do clock reading, and we explained, you know how it goes. That's how it goes. So the feedback that I got was that I was very calm, and I had a gentle voice that was clear to understand. I was standing upright and looked around the class. The students also thought that I was kind and clear, and I thought that was so sweet, because they were like 30-year-olds, so cute. And yeah, so it was interesting because I felt that I gave off nervous energy, and the board never really wanted to listen to me. Like, it was a struggle with the PowerPoint, but at the end of the day, it went all right. I mean, we had 30 minutes to prepare the class, and another feedback was that from the mentor was that we had to activate prior knowledge and also make the goal of the class clear, because we kind of just jumped into it. We never really said why do we need to learn how to read a clock. That was a good feedback that I value, because he also mentioned that we had to have longer assignments, because there were a couple of students that were done so quickly. So having a backup assignments or like exercises is nice. And furthermore, I would like to talk about a professional attitude in front of the class. So a professional attitude in front of the class is initially how you present yourself, the way you stand, what gestures you use, and whether or if you don't make eye contact with students. According to Nordhoff Academy, it is important to be aware of where you're standing in the class. Is it in front of the class? Are you in the corner? Are you seated at your desk? All those little things, they matter, and it just has an effect. So it's also advised to not remain in one place. Move around and use non-verbal communication. Like, non-verbal communication really just help to convey your message, to convey your message. Take a stand that is open, so don't cross your arms. Rather, have them on the sides and use them, for the non-verbal that I just talked about. Students are also more likely to listen if you are looking at them. It is encouraged to make eye contact. This ensures that they feel seen. They feel heard. According to Geertz and Kralingen, congruency is when you're thinking, you're speaking, your emotion align. So I can see why that is important, because a big contrast between your expression and what you're saying can be confusing. Especially if you have kids with autism in your class that don't understand social cues as fast as other kids could. So if you're angry, make sure you look angry. If you're happy, smile. That's how it works. I mean, attitude is a big word. I am interested in psychology, so I looked to what the psychology says about it. According to psychology, it refers to emotions, behaviors, beliefs towards a person, event, or a thing. Our attitude can be summarized as a collection of our thoughts, our actions, and our actions in a given scenario and feelings. Attitudes can change and are a learned way to judge and view things in a particular way. So if you're raised to hate bananas, if you're raised to hate cars, you're gonna hate them. But if someone else comes around and they tell you that cars are actually useful for people to travel to work and back home, for example, if they have times that the bus don't drive, the bus is very limited, then your attitude towards cars can change, and you can see the use of cars, and you will not hate them, or you will hate them less. So I'm speaking about this because this ties into my next point perfectly. The attitude is the attitude part. So what kind of teacher I want to be? What kind of teacher do I want to be? What defines a good teacher? So according to the law in the Netherlands, every teacher needs to be competent in their subject matter, didactically and pedagogically. This means that I have to have knowledge about the English language, for example, grammar, literature, speaking, all of those skills. In addition, I also have to know how to plan a lesson, how to actually teach. So be a good didactic. And lastly, I need knowledge and skills regarding pedagogy, because obviously you're a teacher and you have to teach students that are young adolescents. Maybe they're like 12 to 18. I mean, if you're teaching in MBO, they can be 20. But understanding how their brain works and how they function and what kind of stage in life they are really helps you understand them. Furthermore, I would like to be assertive. Assertive, according to Geertz and Kralingen, means that a person says no, gives feedback, and accepts, but also gives compliments. Personally, I would like to add that an assertive person dares to take up space and is true to themselves. You don't have to pretend to be someone else. I want to be myself in front of the class and teach them that you're unique, and no one is like you. So besides this, I want to be proactive and take initiative. Instead of following the plan or the book, maybe I can design a lesson based on my creativity. Obviously, I have to think about the goals and make sure that the kids get their grades and they pass to the next year. But take initiative. This one is actually about being a good didactic, but I find that it needs its own subtopic. So Being a good leader is essential. You're a leader as teacher. A leader upholds their rules and is consistent with them. A leader is also enthusiastic, very much so. The atmosphere in the class will be better, and I know that because I've seen teachers that are actually excited about what they're doing, and that excites me, and I want to be there. I want to learn. On the other hand, if you also have to make your goals clear and scaffold. Actually, you have to scaffold with students. So I tend to fill in for people sometimes, and I shouldn't do that because I don't know what their mind is thinking, what they're capable of. So scaffolding really just helps. As a teacher, you don't only spend time with students, you interact with your colleagues. So being a team player is essential. Being well versed in a team means that one is professional, and for that you need to have a professional communication. What you think about certain topics and ideas should be shared in a respectful way. Some things are better left unsaid, actually. Giving and receiving and respect does not even have to be mentioned, but I have to still mention it because many people go astray in this department. So mentioning it is pertinent to myself personally. If you don't agree with someone, don't get angry or defensive and just remain calm. So that is all I have to say for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope to see you in my next podcast. Thank you very much. Have a good day.